This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Well, it's kind of funny because as you can see there's a whole bunch of boxes. Well, you can't see them all because I got the thing a little bit higher. But as I was going through here and going through all these games and deciding what stays, what goes up in the auction for our auction that we're giving away, we're putting up for Bella. I was going through and making a lot of different decisions. But when you do something like that, you kind of play, okay, what's in this box? And I opened up and I found a bunch of converted Matchbox cars, type of Matchbox cars. They were actually resin cars that I had painted up in an apocalyptic kind of, with rocket launchers and bangs, dings, and things like that. And I went, wow, this is really cool stuff. But it was way too big to play with Car Wars. So I started going through and I remembered I had a game called Gaslands. Now, here's the thing. I kind of was harsh with it, okay? When I said that, well, it's just Car Wars. Initially kind of going through it and stuff like that, and I'm going to admit something here, and this is where the whole point of this video is I went through it, I kind of messed around with it, and I go, okay, it's souped up Car Wars. Well, my daughter saw the cars and said, Dad, come on, let's give this let's play something with these. This is really cool. I go, well, I got that burnt out town. Let's mess around with that. So put it all together. And it was something that when Victoria wants to play something, you play it. So I really went through the rules of Gaslands. And the reason I grabbed Gaslands is because I'd seen some posts over the past few months that were kind of harsh. People can be cruel. That's okay. But there was one particular where the guy was just very polite in how he said, you're kind of wrong here. And I said, well, something, I owe it to that particular person to take a second look at it. Well, I took a second look at it, a third look at it, and a fourth look at it. We played a couple of games of it. And I'm not even humbly. There are just times that you have to admit you're wrong. Okay? And this is one of those times that I have to come out and say, boy, I don't think I can ever be more wrong about a game than I was with Gaslands, as you can see right up above my shoulders. As we played and we got deeper into the game, it takes a life of its own. The measuring tools can look similar at some point, but that's where it kind of stops. This is a very deep game inside this book, and I have to say, this is one that I actually prefer over Car Wars. And I'm going to say that, even though I said the complete opposite those months ago. Sometimes you got to play things 4 or 5 times, and even 3 times. I didn't give this as fair a shake as I could. Number one, because it was a book. Okay, and I take full responsibility for that. So I felt I owed it not only to the people and the fans of Gasland and the writers and the people at Osprey to correct myself and say, hey, I'm way wrong. This is a very solid system, and you could just grab some Matchboxes and really have a great time. It does not take much to get on the table. This is something that is easy enough to teach your kids, but complex enough where you're not crunching a bunch of things like you would with Car Wars. I think because I grew up with Car Wars, I tended to take a sentimental value towards it and not open myself up to the fact that people can make something a hell of a lot better. And yeah, I said hell. This game is a lot better. and I take the blame on myself, okay? And I can promise you this going forward, that I will make sure that when I get a book and I go, I'm going to take a little deeper look. And I blame myself, and I apologize, number one, to my community, number two, to all the fans of Gasland, okay, that have screamed bloody murder. You were right. I was wrong. This is a really good, solid system. And I owe an apology to the writer. And I feel I did not do this game justice. So we decided to revisit it and make this video and say, hey, go try this out. I think you guys will really enjoy this. This is a fantastic game. It really is. Okay? Take it from me. When you look at it, you go, but get into it. Give it a chance, and you'll see that all the critics that said I was wrong were really right. Now, they could have done it, some of them could have done it a lot nicer. But that's the internet. But I've never been somebody that my ego's been too big to say, well, I'm standing by my convictions. People are wrong. People are wrong every single day. I'm just one of them. I'm just as human as you. I'm just as human as the rest of us. I bleed like everybody else. So, we're going to redo a rating for Gaslands. I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 5. I really think that it takes a bit to get used to, because you have to kind of erase your whole Car War thought of mind and erase it and rediscover something that is really ingenious. Well, there you go. Sometimes we get to revisit things, and sometimes we just have to say we're wrong, and this is one of them. I'm your old pal Ron. We'll see you soon.